Everything is gone!
Get out! Just get out now!
No. No way.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I want to expound on the point that we made at camp yesterday about it's time for Jake to get his head out the sand and accept the fact that America's done, finished, all right? There is no going back. All right, let's pull that up, that phrase, all right? So it says, get your head out of the sand is an idiomatic expression meaning to stop ignoring or avoiding a difficult situation and to face reality. You see? It encourages someone to be more aware and proactive about their circumstances. Meaning of the expression, get your head out of the sand is an idiomatic expression that encourages individuals to stop ignoring or avoiding difficult situations. It suggests that one should confront reality and be more aware of their circumstances, right? These things that you see right here are going to happen, okay? Whether you believe it or not, whether you can see it or not, all right? It says, awareness. The phrase implies a need for increased awareness of one's surroundings or issues. Proactivity. It encourages taking action rather than remaining passive or complacent, man. All right, this is the time to seek the Lord, to repent, right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, and verse 6, and it reads, seek ye the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near, because the Lord is getting ready to withdraw his spirit and his prophets away from you people. And when that happens, judgment will follow. Verse 7, let the wicked forsake his way. All right, it's time for you Israelites to repent before it's too late. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and he will have mercy upon him, into our power, for he will abundantly pardon. We're seeking the mercies from the Lord to be covered in this time to come. Okay, Jacob's trouble, martial law, complete societal collapse. All right, the Lord said he was going to preserve his saints from the evil. You know, Psalms 20. All right, because it's coming. Psalms 20 and 1. The Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the power of Jacob defend thee. You see that? So we're going to trust in the Lord as this time approaches us, man. All right, every day we're closer and closer to it. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The elect are going to be saved from this time. They're going to be covered and preserved from these evils, man. That's what we believe, right? Romans 13 and 11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep. Again, get your head out the goddamn sand. Okay, it's time to confront reality and be more aware of the circumstances that are coming, man. Right? That now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. NLT, Romans 13 and 11. This is all the more urgent, for you know how late it is. Time is running out. Wake up, for our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed.
Why does everything want to go to hell when I'm getting my life together? Now the world is in chaos. The world is in Armageddon, and I'm trying to get my...
Yeah, there's a lot of Jakes out there that's in the same spirit as this guy. Okay, why does the world want to go to hell when I just got my life together, man? The hell with your life, man. Okay, America's over. All right, this is Sirach chapter 5 and verse 7. And it reads, it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance, right? And a lot of you niggas who think like this, all right, I'm just getting my life together. I just started school and, I'm just, I'm on my career path. I'm trying to be something in this world. You're going to be destroyed, man. Okay? Again, get your head out the sand. All right, it's time to deal with the reality at hand, man. We don't got a lot of time left, man. Okay? This world is on the brink of destruction, man. All right? This is 1 John 2:15. Do not love the world. Okay? 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him, man. And that's the majority of you jakes. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics, man. You love the world. Okay, you want this society to go on. All right? You're not in the spirit of the return of the Lord. Okay, you're worried about building a life here. Forwarding your career. Okay, being somebody in this damn world, man. It's over. All right? Verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. Verse 17. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. So this world is getting ready to pass away. And you gotta deal with that, man. Okay, that's why I said it's best for you to repent before it's too late. All right? To come under the Lord's covering, man, before all hell breaks loose. You see? Same verses NLT, do not love this world, nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. They are not from the Father, but are from this world. And this world is fading away, along with everything that people crave. But anyone who does what pleases the Most High will live forever. And we're trying to live forever, man. The hell with everything on this side, man. And that's the problem with you niggas, man. You're so worried about the world and trying to, build a life here instead of worrying about getting delivered out of here. 1 Corinthians 7 and 29. Okay. Yep, 1 Corinthians 7 and 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. Like we just read in Romans 13 in the NLT. Romans 13 and 11. This is all the more urgent, for you know how late it is. Time is running out. Okay? Where's your mind at? Where's your head at, Jake? Right? Understand what the hell is going on out here, man. Right? 1 Corinthians 7 and 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth, that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoiced, not, and they that buy as though they possess not, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. This is where we at, man. Okay? NLT, those who use the things of the world should not become attached to them. Yeah, that's the thing. You jakes have become attached to this world, man. Okay, you really want to be something here. All right, you really want to forge your life for the better and all of that madness, man. Okay, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is bringing an end to this world. Okay, that's why there's going to be so many of our people that are going to perish in this time, 2/3. NLT again, 1 Corinthians 7 and 31. Those who use the things of the world should not become attached to them, for this world as we know it will soon pass away.
Why does everything want to go to hell when I'm getting my life together? Now the world is in chaos. The world is in Armageddon, and I'm trying to get my...
Last message of the day. I'm going to end this on a sour note. America, it's already over. It's already done. America's finished. The only thing is you just don't know it yet. You won't realize it until the bombs start dropping in America or the power goes out from an EMP and it never comes back on. It's all finished. The America that you knew is done. The people just don't realize it yet. It's all over. God loves you. I love you.
Yep. 1 Peter 4:7. Okay. 1 Peter 4:7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Again, get your head out the sand, Jake. Okay. It's time to stop ignoring or avoiding difficult situations. Right? All right. Hey, you got to confront reality. Okay. NLT, the end of the world is coming soon. Therefore, be earnest and disciplined in your prayers. There you go.
To the average person, I would say get your board in the water and prepare to paddle like all get out. The tsunami of a lifetime is coming, and nothing your elders have seen is going to prepare. There's no good advice to give that's specific. Let's put it this way. One of the things when people tell me about their moving from one city to another, I have a phrase that nobody likes, which is every place is over. Oh, I'm moving to Austin. Yeah, it's over. Miami, it's over. Nashville, over. You know, all these places are over. And every occupation that is named is over. I'm going to be a dentist, radiologist, accountant, teacher. These are all over. Whatever's coming, get flexible, get good on a bunch of different stuff. Learn how to think across disciplines. I have no idea what's going to be left for us. But you know, somebody's going to come out on top. And I hate to tell people that you should try to come out on top. I don't think it's healthy to have everyone trying to be world class. I think you should be able to just have a life. And I have a golden retriever. I don't know that it's the greatest golden retriever in the world. Sometimes I think it is, but he does a lot of dumb stuff. But he's my golden retriever. I just don't think it. I think that this mania for optimization, like if you look at your own videos, you'll find some of the best performing videos are, this is how to succeed. This is how to get anyone you want. This is how to get out of a bad situation. People just want capacity. But for what? Okay, you've optimized your day. You've optimized your health. Your social media is optimized. Now what?
It's over. All right? Let's get into this real quick. This came out a few hours ago. Today, it says world leaders blast Trump as ceasefire unravels. All right?
Furious world leaders are lining up to condemn, to isolate, to freeze out, to ditch Donald Trump and his despicable regime. Utter weakness is what furious world leaders see with Donald Trump's catastrophic war in Iran. They're calling out his war crimes and his despicable behavior, but also then not just tacoing, Trump always chickens out, but just outright surrendering to Iran. And then Donald Trump's like, well, I never agreed to Iran's 10-point framework. It's like, yes, you did. You literally made a post saying, I agreed to Iran's 10-point framework, which is an utter surrender and total capitulation by Donald Trump and the United States.
Yeah, Babylon is weak. All right. I was thinking about Isaiah 14 when he said that. Isaiah 14, and 9, right? Okay, America has become weak. Okay, it says Isaiah 14 and 9, it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, all right, which represent the heathen nations, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, right? And the kings of the east are being raised up now. All right, Russia, Iran, North Korea, China. You see? Verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as us? I'm sorry, become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? See? So America is being exposed, for being weak. All right, the power is being stripped away. Verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. You see that? So this is where we at now, that power is being brought down. Okay? It says in the NLT here, your might and power are buried with you. The sound of the harp in your palace has ceased. Now maggots are your sheet and worms are your blanket, because we come into the time of this place being wiped out. All right?
It is perhaps the single worst foreign policy event in American history, I think by far. Take a look at the UK's New Statesman magazine. And as this account, Chris Wiki says, it's not pulling punches at all. Take a look. The Fall, How Donald Trump Destroyed the American Empire by John Gray. And it talks about how the United States, as a superpower or even a major influential power with authority in the world.
Yeah, look how, they got the eagle on there. All right, with the arrow on his back. All right, Obadiah comes to mind. Okay. This is Obadiah 1 and 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So this is spiritual, man. Okay, the eagle has been taken down.
Is all but destroyed as a result of Donald Trump and his despicable regime. We're seeing world leaders call out Donald Trump, and we're also seeing the world leaders who are Trump sycophants falling. In a little bit, I'll talk about the election just a few days away in Hungary. Viktor Orban gave a speech as J.D. Vance was leaving his trip to try to influence the election to get Orban elected in Hungary as part of a plan between Trump and Putin to prop up Orban. You had people there at the latest rally of Orban saying, go home, Russian, go home, Russian. I'll show you that in a moment. Then in Canada, you had their opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, who lost his riding, but still kept his position as the opposition leader for the Conservative Party. He just got humiliated in Parliament. I'll tell you what happened. And I think Poilievre may be resigning. He was a Maple MAGA Trump sycophant. What's up, Maple Midas? I see you. An utter humiliation and downfall for Pierre Poilievre. And it looks like Prime Minister Carney is on his way to form a majority government, standing up strongly against Donald Trump and not backing down. But let's talk to France. Let's turn to France for a moment, where French President Emmanuel Macron put out the following statement after Donald Trump and Netanyahu said, Lebanon was never part of the ceasefire deal between Donald Trump and Iran. No way was that a part of the deal. Here's what French President Emmanuel Macron wrote.
This digital calendar, lightening my mental load, makes it...
So just pass.
Or said, I expressed my hope that the ceasefire will be fully respected by each of the belligerents across all areas of the confrontation, including in Lebanon. This is a necessary condition for the ceasefire to be credible and lasting, calling out Donald Trump and Netanyahu for saying that Lebanon is not part of the ceasefire. when it was literally written into the ceasefire agreement. We saw the mediator, Pakistan's Prime Minister Sharif, even saying it wasn't. It was always part of Iran's 10-point plan. Also, you have the Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, posting the following. Just today, Netanyahu launched his harshest attacks against Lebanon since the offensive began. His contempt for life and international law is intolerable. It's time to speak clearly. Lebanon must be included in the ceasefire. The international community must condemn this new violation of international law. The European Union must suspend its association agreement with Israel, and there must be no impunity for these criminal acts. Now, we also learned how the Trump regime tried to threaten Pope Leo XIV. This morning, I'm going to do a whole video on that, but they brought the main ambassador from the Vatican into the Pentagon, where Trump regime officials basically threatened what some interpreted as an assassination threat against the Pope, saying, "We will do to you what the Avignon papacy did in the 14th century, where the Pope was killed when the French leaders brought the papacy into Avignon and basically killed the Pope." They threatened Pope Leo XIV for speaking out strongly against the Trump regime's imperialist conquest tactics and saying they're going to obliterate civilizations. Pope Leo XIV not backing down, canceling all trips to the United States, and continuing to speak out strongly against Donald Trump and his regime. Now,
no peace. No peace is coming. Ceasefire, no negotiations, no agreements. All right, it's all bullshit, man. Smoke and mirrors. Isaiah 48 and 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, unto the wicked. Ain't no peace coming, man. All right, the Lord is all about war. All right, and this thing is, as we've been seeing, is going to escalate to a whole nother level. All right, this is where we at, man.
Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and others see utter weakness in Donald Trump and his regime. They're trying to basically break Donald Trump's ceasefire because they're saying you basically surrender to Iran and you've made Iran into a world power right now and you've left all of our countries vulnerable. What the hell did we give you all these pay for play and quid pro quo schemes for? We invested in your crypto. We gave you all this money. We built Trump buildings. You were supposed to give us a security umbrella, Donald. What the hell have you been doing? You just destroyed our countries and our future. And so you saw a UAE fighter jet strike an Iranian infrastructure facility yesterday to try to basically break the ceasefire. And so you're seeing other countries now say, wow, we're not protected by the US. We're going to take things into our own hand and try to interfere with the ceasefire. But let's face it, it's a ceasefire in name only at this point. And so with the lack of US leadership, you had Prime Minister Starmer take a trip to Saudi Arabia. You'll see right here, Saudi Crown Prince MBS held a meeting with UK Prime Minister Starmer in Saudi Arabia yesterday. Starmer is in the Gulf to try to, one, pursue UK interests regarding the Strait of Hormuz, which is still effectively shut down for any allies of the United States, right? I mean, 0 tankers passed through the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. Even when the war was taking place, there was about 5 to 10 tankers that would pass through the Strait of Hormuz. To be clear, there was about 4 ships that passed through the Strait of Hormuz, but cargo with Iranian flagships, no tankers. And so, no crude is getting out of the Strait of Hormuz. So, Trump's doing his social media posts, right? Trump's like, all U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that's appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts. This is what Donald Trump was writing at midnight last night. Then the shooting starts, bigger and better and stronger than anyone has ever seen before. It was agreed a long time ago, and despite all of the fake rhetoric to the contrary, no nuclear weapons, and the Strait of Hormuz will be open and safe. In the meantime, our great military is loading up and resting, looking forward actually to its next conquest. So Donald Trump's talking about,
yeah, it's over, man. All right. Got to be able to see through all of this madness. All right, First Thessalonians. Let me get that real quick. First Thessalonians 5. All right, First Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. All right, as we brought this out yesterday at camp. Okay, of the times and seasons, we're not ignorant of the times and seasons. Right, this word seasons here goes into the point. Number one, a fixed and definite time, the time when things are brought to crisis, man. A decisive epoch waited for. All right, we're coming into that time where things are being brought to crisis, man. All right, these are the scenarios that are going to play out sooner than what you realize, man. All right, times where things are brought to a crisis, right? Let's go back. Okay. First Thessalonians 5:2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Verse 3, the point, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as a travail upon a woman with child, and they should not escape, right? So when they talk about peace and safety and agreements and negotiations and ceasefire, just know that sudden destruction is going to follow, man. Okay? There's no peace, all right? This is the Lord's war. All right? So we're watching things escalate day by day.
The United States military looking forward to its next conquest. Hey, Donald, you may want to read the 10-point plan that you agreed to that Iran has been talking about for many weeks right now because they control the Strait of Hormuz. They're allowed to enrich uranium. That's what it says in the 10-point plan. They get full reparations. America has to abandon all of its military bases in the Middle East. America gives permanent security guarantees to Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, the Shiite militia groups in Iraq, and of course, the Iranians, among other, recognizes that Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran doesn't get rid of any ballistic missiles or Shahid drones, and it can enrich its uranium. That's what you agreed to, Donald. And so while you have this utter lack of seriousness and you go and you tweet, world leaders are like, we're done with the United States. More on that in just a moment.
There you go. Hey, the world leaders are done. America's being isolated. All right, more hate is being conjured up against the West. All right, so we understand what's about to happen. All right, you can check out the rest of that. But that's pretty much the point, man. Again, you know, the focus was, you know, getting your head out the sand, dealing with reality, being aware of the circumstances, stop ignoring the difficult and situations, you know. So that's why I wanted to go into. I pray this quick lesson was edifying, man. It's a wrap. All right, this thing's about to go down. Shalom.